All right, everybody, welcome in. It's Tuesday, September 30th, and we're back on track for our Lingit language lunch sessions. I'm going to share our slides so that you have access to these, all the links that are in them. You can follow along if you like. Study outside of class. Dropping this in the chat now. And let's jump in. So, couple of announcements for you guys. Um, this Thursday is a new month, and so um, I'll be introducing our October schedule either at the end of today if we have time or on Thursday. Just to give you guys a heads up, Shirley will be traveling next week, and so she'll be gone starting this Thursday and then be back on around the 16th. Um, and right in line with that, we have a scheduled break. So October 14th to the 16th is the annual convention of the Alaska Federation of Natives. And if you're living outside of Alaska or new to Alaska Native tribal organizations, the Alaska Federation of Natives is an organization that organizes our multiple different regions in Alaska to work on our political resolutions. We do a lot of our voting there. There's a really fun crafts fair that where you can buy things in the lower level floor. That's usually a big hit for folks. You can buy handmade, hand-sewn cuss and mucklucks and slippers, all kinds of things. They're usually really fun um, cultural showcases with dance groups and then also a banquet at the end. But if you're interested, the slideshow I just shared with you has a link to the page that I'm showing you now. This is the annual convention of AFN. And they have a live stream. It gets posted on public television, and you can find that link on this website. I'm not seeing it right in front of me right now, but um, let me just find it for you. Webinars, maybe. Anyway, if that's of interest to you and you're not able to find it, shoot us an email and we'll get you connected. But if you're interested about Alaska Native politics, this is a great way to learn more about our resolutions. Any questions about that or about our break or our schedule? Awesome. Today we're going to pick up with we'll start with our Q&A discussion like we always do. And then we're going to pick up on Shirley's presentation. Last Thursday, she started sharing some really awesome cultural knowledge with us about picking berries with her mom when she was young. And Shirley's mom used to always address the bears when they got to their berry picking grounds before going in.
What we want to do, and there's not much left of my presentation about berry picking. And I hope you'll remember some of the things I said because of the new ideas people have to just let things go, where uh, the trees take over our berry picking areas. So I hope you remember my mom's words: too many trees, too many worms. So you don't want to start picking berries in a shady area. Try to get out in the open. So uh, we can take questions as we go. So if you have any comments to let us know by chat or by raising your hand to speak. The poster that we started out with uh, a picture in the corner with the little boy with a can and berries scattered all over. I uh, that's the description I heard. So I because I can't see, uh, I really don't know. But I think we all have gone through uh, that particular way of thinking as a child. So the preparation for going berry picking, you don't go alone. You don't say, I'm going berry picking and just take off and go. You invite a bunch of people that you know that would like to go. My mom seemed to know, so we end up inviting 3 or 4 people to go along with us because the more people, the better. At one time, and I'm not sure if they do it yet, but at one time, the coffee company used to sell coffee in 5-gallon cans in Alaska. And these 5-gallon cans, they, when their coffee is all gone, it's a pretty clean item and can be used for berries. So the women used to put straps on them so they can carry it on their back when it's full of berries. Then there's water buckets and uh, different items. So my mom had a real uh, collection of these items. She would put together all the things we're going to take, and depending on uh, the age, and also she seemed to know um, everybody well enough to know what size uh, they would be needing. And I tried to save this. I wanted to show you the size. I don't know if you can see it,
I
but
can't quite see. Oh yeah, we can see it now.
uh, coffee, uh, coffee container, coffee. Uh, what they used to do is you put a hole with a nail, you put a hole opposite each other. Then, then a string is put through it with loops to make loops, and then you take a cloth and attach it to the strings uh, to be able to hold it around your neck, so you have it um, around your neck. So you have it, you have 2 hands free because of that. Uh, the a cloth holding it around your neck. Otherwise, strings would really cut into your neck. For those of you that have never picked berries, I know you probably have other containers that you usually use. So I would get a can like this, and I would put a lot of berries in there. Then I would sit down and start eating it, and start eating the berries. And uh, my mom didn't say anything, don't eat the berries or anything like that. She never uh, she was never really that negative. So she came to me and said, You see those containers over there, the coffee container, 5 gallons. You see that, all those cans, they all have to be full before we go back home. And of course, I wanted to be home with my friends. So I thought, oh no, I'd be here all day if I keep eating these berries. So I had to quit. And I don't know what method your your parents or grandparents used for you, but that was one that my mom used on us uh, because she knew that we wanted to be home with our doing things with our friends, and but I could have all the berries I want once I got home, and uh, this size can was my size because I was old enough, big enough to be able to fill it. And there was really a pride or feeling good when you see the berries filled all the way to the top of this, so you can pour it into that 5 gallon can. And so we worked really hard to make sure that we have all those berries so that my mom can it and have berries for the winter. So that was how uh, she had cans like smaller cans like peach cans or something for the younger so they could so they don't have to be discouraged trying to fill a big can like this when they're little.
Mm.
So if you want to introduce your uh, youngest child, you have to hold hands with them to get around. And of course, the first thing they want to do is eat the berries. I mean, that's so attractive.
Mm.
So you have to teach them uh, about the berries and also uh, the berries. It's not really that good to consume so much. So when we got home, I could have all the berries I want. My mom used to say, "Make sure you have milk with it." Why? Because berries have seeds. And you know what happens? You'd be sitting in a bathroom for a long time. So she always said, make sure you have milk with that. So that's another reason for trying to make sure the children uh, don't consume that much. So there was varying sizes of, um, of cans that she had in storage for, like, who's going? Okay, here's a can that fits that one. So you have a new little one that's going along for the picnic. And of course, the first thing they do is start eating the berries. So they have to be taught uh, uh, what everybody else is doing. So you have a special can for them. And here's one.
Oh.
So you put holes in it and hang it around the neck like just like everybody else picking berries. And the little one, you encourage them to fill it up because they want to surprise grandma. Say, you could take it home for grandma or take it home for uncle, the favorite person. And when it's filled, you kind of help them to fill the can. And if it's filled, then you put fern leaves over the top to keep the berries from spilling out. So it was a real important event to train the young ones. You don't just let them run and take it with them to play with. And that's what it seems like in the picture, that the child was able to get a can and play with it because the berries were scattered from what description I heard.
Hmm.
So it takes work to teach your children, and it's important. And for the little one, you never let go of them because it's too dangerous. They could fall, and so we would uh, fill up everything, the water bucket, the 5-gallon can, all the cans that we have before we leave to go home. So it would be a successful trip if you had that, and to take home. I don't know if I remember if I mentioned that some of the land is personally owned, berry picking land. So you have to know that. If you can't just say, "Oh, I saw all these berries. Let's go there." It belongs to somebody, and they need you need their permission to go there. And a lot of times we ask permission to go, and they say, "I'm going to go too." So you end up with several people. So in Puna, where you kind of go into the woods on your own, there's a lot of bears. Uh, at I think at the time, bears didn't want to associate with us, and I'm not really sure about that now. That they probably see as people that have food. Um, so it's just something that my mom was always careful about in when we come to the area where we're going to pick berries. Before we go in, my mom would stop right in front before we enter into the berrying area and call out. And she believed that all animals understood Tlingit. So she would always say this in Tlingit. And I'm going to try to imitate her voice and her words. And Anna's going to give you the translation of what she always said. She always said the same thing. Uh, we knew enough to not just to run into the woods and start picking. We had to wait until that process was done. And she would call out and say, I'm going to try to imitate her tone of her voice and say it in Clinton. Way they are to
We're coming into your area
yes,
for our food.
pet hakoyat.
We won't stay long.
So she always said that. Then we can go into the woods. And we never saw any bears. If there were any, and I think that I actually heard some of them leaving uh, as I go into the woods, but I never saw any.
Hmm.
So, so I think it worked. And my my mom used to say, "Build a fire while we're picking, because we always eat lunch there.
Hmm.
Build a fire, keeps the bears away." So we used to build a fire, kind of a smoky one. But then nowadays the bears, they're not afraid of fire. They see the fire as in a garbage dump, so they
Hmm.
all come down to see what's burning. So I don't know if that works anymore.
Hmm.
They're changed. So, but that's a successful berry picking. The berries are large in the shade, uh, but not around a lot of trees. And find out if anybody owns the land, and just have a great time getting your berries. Yeah, welcome, cheese.
Ah, goodness, geez, Niki. Thank you for sharing that with us. So much knowledge and traditional ways of doing things, thinking about our activity for berry picking. It's really beautiful language and presentation of how your mom used to say it. It's really special for us to be able to learn this. Such a gift from your mom and from you. So goodness, cheesh. Does anybody have questions or comments? Did those berry cans look familiar to anybody?
What kind of containers did they generally use? Those cans are what I used.
Uh, I had a berry face. My grandma would come and check on me to see how I was doing picking berries, and but she was kind of blind, so she would just put her hand in the can to see how much I did, and it was almost always to the bottom because I would pick and then just sit there and eat them.
That's what I did too. What kind of containers did you use?
uh, we used the coffee cans.
Yeah, those coffee cans are really handy. I think in the old days they used to have those big cans of peaches or some kind of fruit, pears, like that size. So that was pretty handy, easy to clean, so you could use it for berries. So those big cans, coffee cans, peach cans, just I think my mom used to grab it real quick, keep it.
Yeah,
When that
and
was,
in addition to the like coffee cans, we've used the big ice cream containers. They've got the big things of ice cream, plastic ones.
Ah, that's interesting. So you can just put the ice cream on top of it and eat.
that sounds good.
No, yeah.
We
I,
used those too growing up, those coffee cans.
yeah, I didn't realize it that uh, the coffee can I showed you uh, is not tin. It's really heavy cardboard. So that wouldn't really work for uh, picking berries because it would get where, and you can't make holes in it. So you have to make sure it's a real tin
Mm,
can,
mm-hmm.
and it'll be easier to carry when you leave, especially when they're full of berries.
My dad used to use those tin coffee cans, that gallon size, and then he would also poke a hole in the lid so that if you're walking home with it, you could put the lid on, they wouldn't spill.
Yeah,
Hmm. It's the worst when you trip on a root and you spill your berry bucket.
yeah, or slide down the hill.
Mm-hmm. That's the first time I ever saw someone do the small can, the little pint-sized can for babies.
Yeah,
How cute is that?
little tomato sized cans or tomato sauce cans or whatever. They're
Mm,
they're really cute, and I've seen it really work for a, a, a little child taking so much pride in getting the berries for uncle or for grandpa or somebody.
mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
the
that
first thing they want to do is run real quick to show them when they get back to town to show the can.
uh kids love that. That part really resonated with me because when we took my toddler nephew hobby fishing, we would catch one and I would ask him, "Okay, who's this one for?" And he got to pick, Grandma. I think kids love that.
Yeah, that really teaches them to be concerned about different people too.
Hmm. Anybody in this group have little ones that they bring out harvesting?
I have a little one, and we go out.
Oh,
Um, yeah, we'll go out and get. We mostly blackberries right now, or well, when they were out, and lots of huckleberries. So we have some big bushes in our backyard. And then when we go backpacking, there's always those like big black mountain huckleberries that kind of look like blueberries. And those are our favorites. And I try and bring like a bucket to collect them when we go camp, like hiking, but you don't ever really come home with very many.
that's awesome that you take your little one out with you. Do they have fun out there with you?
Oh yeah, she's a good like I mean, she'll do it for a while and just stand there, but mostly she just eats them all. Straight into the mouth. But it's a good way to keep her hiking too in berry season. So,
Yeah. What do you guys do with the blackberries? Do you can those?
pie.
Yum. Okay.
Yeah, because they don't make. I'm not really. My mom always used to make the blackberry jelly where she'd strain out all the seeds, but I'm just. It's always just extra sweet. I don't know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, I think what we call blueberries are really huckleberries,
yeah, yeah, a lot of them tend to be.
probably known as blueberries. And the difference to me is Blueberries is only one color and it's also tastes different. The blueberries that grow up here in Anchorage, it's real blueberries. They uh, so there's not enough rain to grow uh, huckleberries, and some of them are red, which is really pleasing to the eye when you have a lot of those red mixed in.
Mm-hmm.
I heard I don't know where I heard it on the news or somewhere is for berries, if you want to freeze them, you put it in a tray and keep them separate till they're frozen. Then you bag them to that so that they don't freeze up into a big clump.
Yeah, we always do that with our blueberries and stuff so they don't.
And it didn't take long. And my mom used to spend a lot of hours cooking the berries because at that time we didn't know.
How did your mom stew the berries and then before she canned them, Shirley?
Yeah, she would cook the berries in a pot, and then she had a funnel that was pretty good, so that it was easier to pour it into the jar. Got to make sure the jars are not ice cold, so you'd have a lot of cracked jars.
Mm-hmm.
She would pour a little bit into the jar and swish it around to warm up the jar, and then fill it up. Then she after she puts the lid on it, uh, put it upside down so the lid can seal easier.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a lot of canned canned berries in the winter. My mom canned everything: apples, peaches, pears, plum. I really enjoyed the plums.
Hmm.
So uh, that was really great. But somebody left us. We came home and left us this uh, bowl of meat. Look, I looked at it and I thought, wow, I don't know what it is. So my brother, who knows everything, took a look at it. He said, I don't know what it is. And he said, anyway, give it to mom. She'll can it and we'll be able to figure out what it is afterwards. So, she canned everything. Yeah. Yeah.
Was
And
it good?
that's a lot of work and a lot of jars to clean before the season started.
Yeah.
So it's double extra. Um, when my youngest son was about 3 or 4 years old, we were in Huna, and my mom's that day they had a rummage sale, and we said, "Let's go to the rummage sale." So my sister-in-law and I and my mom, we went to the sale, and uh, I got a new sweatshirt. My mom said, "I'm going to need it because we're going to work on jars today." So we got home and she got all dressed, put the new sweatshirt on, and she would, from storage, start bringing out the jars. My sister-in-law and I were washing them. And every time my mom came by with cases of berry jars, he would say, Yay! Grandma is Superman. And so nobody paid any attention to him. And pretty soon, my mom was bringing out just cases and cases of jars, and we were washing. And every time she came by, he would say, "Yay, Grandma, Superman!" And so she brought us some jars, and she was uh, turned her back on us, and here her sweatshirt that she bought from the rummage, it said Superman on the back of it. She had it on backwards. And, and she said, "What? I thought he was telling me I was Superman because I was bringing all those cases." Yeah. So it's a process. At that time, uh, you have to have all those cases and cases and cases of jars so that you can just reach in uh, and some jars have to be um, cooked and heated up so that it's prepared for whatever you're going to put in. A lot of them, like the blueberries or the other kind of berries, you just heat it. You put the funnel in and put a little bit of berries or whatever and swish it around to heat up the jar.
Yum. Did your mom add sugar to the berries when she would cook them in the pot?
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I never knew how much.
Hmm.
You always guessed it right.
Hmm. To get the right thickness.
Yeah, yeah, the right taste, I think it was.
Mm.
Yeah, it does the job of giving flavor, but it also does the job of keeping it from being spoiled,
Mm.
being sour.
Mhm.
So it was quite an education for me and my sister-in-law to have my mom have us go through all that. So we learned the importance, especially when you can something, make put the lid on, make sure you turn it upside down so that it could seal a lot easier.
Mm.
When I made jam or applesauce or something, I put the lid on, turn it upside down, let it cool that way.
Mm.
So,
What about when your mom canned apples? Did she add cinnamon or anything like that for flavor?
oh yeah, I think she put sugar in
Mm.
like she did for the berries.
Hmm.
Yeah, a lot of people in town knew that my parents really worked hard uh, to put up the food for the winter. So a lot of people dropped by just so they could be in time to eat. So my dad was always so happy to have people.
Oh.
So my mom would be busy trying to find something that could be served. And a lot of times she would pull out a couple of jars of berries, maybe all strawberries or all blueberries or whatever kind of berries she has.
Mm.
She would bring them out together to show my dad, and he's busy visiting the visitors, and she would show him, and he would point at which one he wanted. It kind of reminds me of those fancy restaurants where the server shows the master of the table.
Hmm.
kind of show them what kind of food to choose or whatever.
Hmm. That is so sweet. That just like gives me such a yummy, fun, homey feeling. Hmm.
I remember we always had to when we were canning. My mom would we would always sit there and listen for the like pop noise when it sealed itself, and she'd sit there and count each one. We'd just wait, and then you'd always, sometimes you'd like miss one or it just wouldn't seal right, and you'd be like, oh, we only had 12 out of 13 or whatever. But I just liked listening and hearing that noise.
Uh-huh.
So you eat that one first?
Exactly.
I think people really miss out not to go through all that we did. It would seem like a lot of work, but uh, when the country was really suffering with not enough food, no work or anything, we didn't even know. We didn't know that there was enough food for people and
Hmm.
in the world.
Hmm.
The Clinkets, we were busy. We prepared all our food, so it didn't bother us. On the other hand, when uh, things became plentiful in the U.S., that didn't happen with us. We still had the same. That's what we worked for.
Hmm.
So when everybody became poor, we didn't know it. When they became rich, we didn't know it. We just had
Hmm.
all our stuff.
Hmm. That is so important to be able to put up your own food and know that you have access to it regardless of what's happening with the national supply chain and all that.
Yeah.
So fun. Does anybody else have questions or comments or things you want to share? Shirley, anything else you wanted to bring up before I show them our schedule?
Yeah, I think it's really important to teach the children.
Mm.
I think that's one of the reasons I wanted to tell the stories is that it's a time of training for the children. You don't allow them to just go ahead and do what they want. So uh, make sure that they know the importance of putting up food for the winter and that they can have as much as they want when they get home.
Mm. Thank you for sharing that with us. Sometimes with my young nephews, we all just want to spoil them, because they're so cute, but we got to
Yeah,
remember to teach them. Yeah.
yeah. You don't scold them. You don't yell at them. Mean. Just do an explanation.
Buenas noches. Okay. We will do that. Anybody else, comments or questions? All right. Well, Gunachi Shirley for this valuable lesson to us about picking berries, the things your mom used to say. Um, really helpful child rearing practices to teach our culture in a positive and helpful way for children.
And the phrases that we wanted to learn from Dr. Lear's collection.
Mm. Do you want me to share those? Okay. I'm going to pull these phrases up now that Shirley's talking about. And just a reminder for folks, these are phrases that we pulled from Dr. Jeff Lear's collection of notes. And they come around this word cook eat. And I have this one on the board. And surely I have all of them that we talked about. Did you want to say anything about these?
Uh, One of the questions that came up with this word was the ku, Ku, underlined K, ku. We found out because we're both learning too, so I was curious uh, because I heard it in other phrases, and what it actually means is a group of people who eat. So it's not like saying you're berry picking. You're saying it's a group of people.
Ah, yeah, this was a fun point that Shirley and I found when we were reading through some grammar books. So this k that she mentioned in cook eat indicates a group of people. Okay. Anything else you wanted to mention about that?
No, but I want to go over the phrases.
Okay. Okay. Yikwati. So let's practice these ones. You guys can go ahead and unmute your mics and repeat after me. Um, First one, kokit.
Cookie,
And so the first sound is an underlined KU. That's going to happen with the back of your tongue and the back of your throat when you do the k. So repeat after me. K. Uh, okay. And then the next K is a pinched K. So that'll happen at the top of your mouth, but you're going to make it sound really sharp and snappy. So let's do the whole word. Repeat after me. Kokit.
cookie,
Good. And the T is also pinched. So make that one nice and sharp sounding as well. And just go nice and slow and repeat after me. Kokit.
cookie,
How did we sound on that one, Shirley?
Yeah, it sounds good.
Okay. Next one, if we want to say, let's go berry picking as an invitation, we add this word nach to at. So let's try this whole phrase. Cook eat nach to at.
cookie,
Cookie
not
nach to
Again, cook eat nach to at.
cookie,
cookie nach to
Shirley, any feedback on that one?
Uh, that's that is actually a suggestion. It's not saying you're going to go, but you're asking other people to go.
Okay. And then I think we have time for one more, and then we're at time. The last one we can go over is if you went, and then you want to say we went berry picking, you would end it with wutuaat. So let's try this phrase. Repeat after me. Kokit wutuaat.
Kuki
Wutuwaat.
And then again. Kokit wutuaat.
Kuki
Wutuwaat.
Uh, How about that one, Shirley? Any comments?
That's good.
Okay. Awesome. Well, this was super fun today. On Thursday when we meet, like I said, Shirley will be traveling, but you all and I are going to work on our formal self-introduction. This is something that has been requested by students, and we'll talk more about it, but a few of you are already practiced in your formal self-introduction, but we still want you to participate so that you can provide your good support for the new learners. And I'll talk a little bit about how we're going to weave that into our knock knock dialogue. Shirley, any thoughts before you go on your trip?
No.
Okay, awesome. Well, have a great rest of your day, everybody. And I'll see you all here on Thursday, same time and same link. Buenas noches.
Prekosatin.
Yekwatitsiye
Wasatin.
kwasatin. Ah.
Yay, quercetin.